That's the
Oh
question.
yeah, I know. You're setting me up. You're setting me up.
So, dude, we got the trifecta. We had Christy, we had Faye, now we have Bogi.
Yep.
What we need to do is we need to track down Rachel, and then we'd have everybody. You know,
what is she up to now? You and I ran into her.
I don't know. I don't have contact information for her. I don't know. I know she does stuff online, but that's all I know. I don't really know anything else. And you know, but see, Bogi probably knows how to get a hold of her. We'll ask her. You know, she can say yes or no. She doesn't have to give us the info, but she can say, yeah, I know. No, I'm not going to give it to you.
I wouldn't give our information to us at all.
Albert said, what are you drinking? He wants to know what you're drinking, John.
I am drinking Bacardi and Pepsi.
Bacardi and Pepsi.
So, in a pint glass from
that drink looks really dark. I'm not sure you have enough alcohol in that.
Well, it's dark rum. I got the dark rum in there.
Okay. Yeah, sure, fag.
It's not the light stuff. What are you drinking? Coffee?
I'm drinking water. I just finished my coffee.
Yeah.
I'm not self-medicating right now because I got the surgery on Thursday.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Are you nervous? I'd be nervous.
No, I'm really not. I just, man, I'm in a good place in my head because it's been pretty sketchy for me and my problems. And I'm in a good place in my head. I need to get this done. I'm taking one day at a time. Like the only thing I'm concerned about is getting to the hospital on time so they can cut me. I don't care about nothing else.
You got to be there at 4 a.m. or some shit.
4 a.m. Yeah. So that's all I give a shit about. That's all I care about. And then I'll worry about what comes next. But until then, I'm not going to sweat it.
Yeah, the part that would, and I don't want to freak you out, but the part that gets me is they're going in the front and the back.
Yeah.
That's major.
I mean, they got to have a vascular surgeon. They got to have a vascular surgeon because, I don't know how much they're going to cut me open. I don't know if they're just going to put holes in me. I don't know. But they got to go through the front to clean out what's left of the disc. That's what they do. They clean out the disc and put a spacer in with the piece for the bone graft. So they're going to do 4 discs, maybe 5 discs, replace them all. Yeah. And then replace them all. And then they close you back up and then they flip you over and then they go into the back and literally take like the bat wings off your spine and put screws in it. I'm going to ask for pictures. I'm asking for pictures and I want to know if they got video because I figured
bring them on the show.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
and we can play it.
I think it would be great, because
bionic Lou.
Exactly. Yeah. $6 million Lou.
They're gonna hook any electrodes up to your penis or anything. You gonna do anything?
I'm gonna ask him if they can make me about 2 inches taller. So I'm not gonna worry about my junk right now. I'm gonna, I'll do that. I'll do that when they do my neck. Yeah,
I hear you. Bogi's backstage going, I didn't think it was this kind of show. I'm out.
You know what though? But John, just because we have an outline doesn't mean you have to follow
I know.
it,
I know.
We're just like I told you before, we're like free range chickens. We just go wherever the hell we want. That's what the show is.
And I think we're like boneless chickens, but we're good. As old as we are, we're boneless chicken.
Paul Bald. I like that. Bald. He made a live show for the first time this season. He made this show. That's what he's talking about. Paul, we're here for you.
There you go. You got John Hotchkiss for tomorrow.
Yes, we got John Hotchkiss tomorrow. He's traveling right now. He said he'll be here. He said he will be here. And John's got a pretty cool story, and he's big in the industry. I think he's on like the board of he's on one of the boards for SEMA. He fought cancer. He's got his own suspension company. I mean, like the dude has got he's got a good story, I think. And people,
he was a racer.
Yeah, I think he was.
He did
Le
Mans and a couple other.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got a good story.
Yeah.
So, and I know you did research. I'm just gonna wing it like I usually do, and we'll make it a show. Yeah, we'll be good to go.
The following week will not be Wednesday. It'll be Tuesday again because Rick Dorr, builder designer Rick Dorr, can't do Wednesday. He can only do Tuesday. He's meeting with the band Judas Priest. Now he's built stuff for the dude from Metallica, Hetfield.
Yep.
And I'm guessing Judas Priest wants something similar where it's hand-built aluminum body. And we'll get into all that. But, he's got some cool stories. And like I said last week, what I'd like is we got a lot of similar tastes with the fat fender cars and all.
Yeah. I like fat fender cars. I like fat fender cars.
I wish they were stronger. They're starting to fade because those guys, us included, are getting older.
Yeah. Well, so that's what happens.
Yeah. And on the 23rd, well, you got Jared filling in next week while you recover.
Yes. I'm going to reach out to Jared. We'll get Jared squared away. And I'll do that tomorrow. Because tomorrow I gotta clean. I'm gonna try and clean up all my loose ends. I got the one guy, Adrian, he's the sheet metal guy. He sent me a text wanting to know if we were gonna do this or not. And I was busy with all my stuff last week, so I sent him a text and he hasn't replied back. So I'm gonna get with him. I got his number. I'm gonna call him and see if he looked at the text. And then this way we'll find out if he's coming on. I don't know anything about him. I just know he's a sheet metal guy and he's good. That's all I can tell you about him. And we'll go from there. And I got, and I'll call Tim at Hushmat, Tim McCarthy, and see what, I talked to him. I sent him dates. So we'll see what we got. Yeah. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. I followed up with Leno's assistant too. So maybe I can grab him. This was just yesterday. So
that would be awesome.
He's going to be in Atlantic City on the 19th and Lancaster, Pennsylvania on the 20th.
Okay.
And I live right between both of those. So
yeah.
Go catch up with him at either place. But how cool would that be?
That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah. But Albert remembered Thursday's my birthday. The same time Lou's getting cut open, I'll be flying to Florida.
There you go. Go to Florida. Go to Miami.
I'm going to hang out, get a tan, come back.
I don't blame you.
Try to rejuvenate.
I don't blame you. Is Linda going with you?
Yeah, she's taking me. We're coming back Sunday or Monday.
How come she should have wanted to leave earlier, like a month ago, before it really got cold in Philly?
Yeah, well, next go around. I got the whole place ripped apart. We're wondering if we're going to walk in there and be able to live in the place.
Got you.
I got a contractor redoing all kinds of shit.
Got you.
So we'll see. But anyhow.
David Johnson's selling his he's selling his dad's 49 1941
yeah, that's a cool car.
That is a cool car. That's a cool
split
car.
Window in the back too. I think the 40 or 41s have a split window.
The 39 and the 40 do. I'm not sure about the 41, but I do know that they have it. All right. So look, well, it's 10 after.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's bring in Bogi. All right. So we're gonna do a commercial. John's gonna drink. I'm gonna watch. Do this commercial. When we come back, we'll have Bogi. Hit it, Brad.
It sounded too good to be true. A dealership that's been in business over 65 years. Terrific deals and thousands of repeat customers. You know what I love about this dealership?
What's that?
It's a big building where they sell cars, but that's not important right now. I love their 5-star customer reviews. See why more people are uncovering great deals at KennedyAuto.com. John Kennedy Ford. Enjoy your ride.
Bogi!
There she is.
Hi.
What's happening?
Not too much, man. I'm stoked to be here. I mean, I'm no Jay Leno, but I appreciate you including humble old me for one of your guests.
We include everybody. We're an all-inclusive operation.
That doesn't actually make me feel special. We include everybody, Bogi. You're not special.
But you are special. If you're like me, you rode a special bus with other special kids.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Just remember what Kurt Lazarus said, and you'll be fine. You'll make it through life. Kurt Lazarus said, "You never go full retard." Just remember that.
Oh boy, politically correct tonight.
I will keep that in mind.
Well, see, I tell people that because I have an out. See, the out is Kurt Lazarus doesn't exist. The character that Robert Downey Jr. plays in Tropic Thunder, his name is Kurt Lazarus, and that's what he tells. That's what he tells.
I remember that.
Ben Stiller when they were talking about the movie that he did, Simple Jack. So that's the line that's stuck in my head. So that's my out. Like I'll tell people that at school, you know what Kurt Lazarus said, and they look at you like, who?
Who the heck is that?
You never go full retard.
I don't think you can make that
goodness.
movie today, especially with a guy with blackface, but you know,
a white
so
guy
yeah.
with blackface playing an Australian.
Yeah, I'm the dude.
I have not seen this.
Yeah. You're gonna see it.
You're not missing anything.
I've lived under a rock for like the last 20 years. I haven't seen like any movies. My friends all joke that they think I got abducted and like have been in somebody's basement for like 15, 20 years. Because I know nothing. They're like, how about this movie? Nope. How about no? How about nope? I just watched Matrix for the first time last night.
I saw that. I
know it was on the list of things I was supposed to do.
It was your homework. I get it.
Yeah, totally.
Everyone has homework. Have you seen Snatch?
No.
You need to watch Snatch with Brad Pitt. Okay. It's good.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah.
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah. It's got a really good cast. It's shot in England. It's by who's the damn director?
Yeah, the guy that was married to
Madonna. I can't think of his name now, but he's it's by far in my Guy Ritchie. In my humble opinion, it's probably the best movie he ever made.
Okay.
But you really got to pay attention because Brad Pitt is supposed to be a gypsy. And they said he lived with a bunch of gypsies for a few months. So you got to really pay attention to what he's saying because it's like almost like mumbling with a British accent. It's just like, huh? So yeah.
Bogi, this is why
I know, right?
This is why I put together an outline. So Luke can run the show off a clip, start talking about movies nobody's ever seen.
It's all good. Doesn't faze me none.
Look, follow the list. This way Bogi's not sitting there going,
you can read. You did the list. You can do it. See, look. Hogan Sherlin, he likes Joe Dirt. Joe Deertray.
All right, everybody has to message me on social media with like the must-see movies from the last 2 decades because I guarantee I haven't seen like
you
any of them.
are gonna get in trouble.
Dude, send me, please. I need stuff so that I
tell
can
them where to
like,
send it. Your Instagram page. What? Tell them where to send it.
Find me on Instagram, Bogi's Garage, or Facebook.
Okay,
also
there
Bogi's Garage.
Okay, there you go. So you're gonna get bombarded now.
I'm cool with that.
Bogi, tell us about the Girl Gang Garage. Talk to us.
Girl Gang Garage. Okay, so that's my current shop. It's passion project 100%. It's kind of the culmination of my everything I've done throughout my career up to this point. It's really focused around women and empowering women through automotive knowledge. So I teach workshops and classes where, anything from basic maintenance, this is how you change a spare tire. This is how you check your oil. And then kind of intro classes across the different trades. But then the big thing that we do is these massive scale all-female builds. So we take cars from bare metal and bring them up to SEMA show car. And we'll involve women from kind of all over the country. Many of them are professionals. Many of them don't know anything about cars. So like anything from I don't know what a ratchet is to I've got 30 years of experience and the whole range in between. So kind of crazy. It's all about connecting women in the trades and bringing more women into the trades.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
I think it's great because, when I was doing the research on you trying to get into that business and being stopped and nobody would hire you. And were you based out of New York and then you moved to Arizona? Are you still in Arizona now?
I am still in Arizona. Yeah.
So your shop you're talking about now is based out of Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us how you got into cars, your training. And I think there was a BMW dealership that gave you your first. Talk to us about way back when. How
way back machine.
Way back when I was a wee one. So
2005.
So let's see. I was in love with Volkswagen Bugs. I didn't know anything about cars. Like legit, nobody in my family is into cars. They don't know where I came from. They're very confused by this whole thing, but I loved Volkswagen Bugs. And so I started reading Volkswagen magazines so I could learn like which one to buy and what years were good. And I'm like 16 at the time, right? So I discovered that the only time women show up in Volkswagen magazines was when they were wearing high heels and bikinis and strategically placed grease marks. And I was like, that's not cool. You shush,
Right.
Lou. You shush.
I'm listening to you.
I, being like the stubborn little girl that I was like, this is BS. I'm going to get my own bug. I'm going to restore it myself. And then I'm going to have some hot dude modeling in front of it. And I'm going to be in the magazine. So that's how it started.
Yeah.
I did not ever expect to make a career out of it. I took auto shop in high school, restored my bug, never made it into hot VW trends, but it's cool. And then I went off to college, actually. I thought I was going to be a lawyer. So I went off and did something completely different and kind of found my way back to automotive because I realized that I really missed working with my hands.
Yeah.
So wound up going to Universal Technical Institute, got into the BMW program, worked for BMW as a technician for about 7 years, and then started my own shop, ran a general repair shop for 13 years. And now I have Girl Gang Garage. And somewhere along the line, they put me on TV, which I, will never understand why they chose to do that. But
we'll go back to studying overseas, because I was surprised to hear how Bogi, the name Bogi, came about.
Yeah,
now, you were in, was it Hungary?
I was, I was in Hungary as a Rotary exchange student.
Really?
So, it was my junior year of high school. They had like 4 countries that we could go to, that we could choose from, and I picked Hungary because I figured it's the only place of the 4 that I probably wouldn't otherwise get a chance to go visit. So what I realized after the fact was I should have maybe chosen a country that had a language that would be useful in the rest of my life. Because, my good friend learned Spanish. One of my other friends learned Japanese. I learned Hungarian. Who speaks Hungarian?
John, we got to learn Hungarian so we can have Bogi on, and we can open up to a whole new audience.
But I'll tell you what's really fun is that I can curse in Hungarian really well. And so when I'm really angry, which it doesn't happen often, it takes a lot for me to get really angry, but when I can just start like rattling off Hungarian curses,
curse
and nobody understands. It's great.
Curse them in Hungary. Wow. Awesome. That's awesome. I gotta learn it. I gotta learn that.
Sounded sexy.
I gotta learn that. I'm on board.
So the name, Lou's got his pants down. Don't worry about it.
my technicians at my old shop, my technicians always knew when I started cursing in Hungarian, they were like,
"Oh, it's
just on. Back away. Just back away."
How long were you in Hungary for? Wait a minute. How long were you in Hungary for?
A year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. All right, now go back to how did you get the name?
Okay, so I'm 16 years old. I'm living in Debrecen, which is the second largest city in Hungary, and my real name, Sarah, sounds a little bit like a curse word in Hungarian. So my friends gave me a new name. A bunch of 16-year-old girls. They're like, "Ha ha ha! Your name sounds like shit." Literally. Literally. So I was given the name Bogi, which means beetle, which of course is the car that got me started in all of this. And it's short for bogelarka, which is a type of flower. And I guess they said I had like a cheery personality or something. So here we go. And then I kept it for a multitude of reasons, but yeah, kind of stuck.
I was actually surprised to see that story when I was reading up on it. I didn't know that, because to me, you look like a Bogi. It fits.
Well, thank you.
Sarah, I don't know, but Bogi, right? I was like, that's what I'm saying.
I appreciate that. I agree.
You know what I mean?
I never bothered to ask. I just knew her name was Bogi.
That's cool. I didn't know your name for the first 3 years. No, I'm kidding. No.
That guy? Yeah.
That guy.
That guy over there? Dumbass. Yeah.
You know what's cool? We had probably 3 or 4 people on, and their first cars were Beetles.
It's the gateway drug.
Yeah.
Stacey David's sister.
No, you're right.
Gateway drug.
Yeah, if they either customized one right out of the gate, or that was their first car to figure it out.
Right.
And I can't remember all of them. Ian was one of them. Stacey David did one. Maybe even Faye. Faye had
she had a Volkswagen, not a Bug. I think she had a Rabbit.
She had a water-cooled, Rabbit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But there was somebody else with a Beetle. Same thing, first car. It ran like crap. You know, they had to keep it going. It was
well, that's why they're the gateway drug. I know more mechanics who started out on Volkswagen Bugs than any other car. It's because like they're easy to work on, right? You drop the engine with 4 bolts and a skateboard and you're good.
Right.
But they break all the time. So they're a great starter car for people.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% correct. Yeah, that's cool. So see,
Bogi,
now we know what the gateway drug for cars is. The Volkswagen.
Talk about your podcast.
My podcast.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. So this kind of started out as a little thing during COVID. Just I didn't think it was going to last as long as it has, but now I'm like just super jazzed about it and loving it. Not COVID, that is. I'm talking about the podcast. I am also surprised that COVID has lasted as long as it has, but that's another
right.
We're not going to get into that right now, though.
Exactly. But no, it's live on Instagram every Wednesday. And each week I meet with another awesome tradeswoman. So sometimes it's auto mechanics. I've had helicopter mechanics, airplane mechanics, welders, fabricators, blacksmiths, car builders, race car drivers, kind of all across the board. Awesome women doing awesome stuff in the trades. And we have a drink and we get to hear their story and learn about the challenges they've faced and some of the wins that they've celebrated. And just, I don't know, it's all about really, for me, highlighting how many amazing women there are in the trades. Like Faye and Christy and I kind of like, you know, people are like, oh yeah, I know 3 women in the trade, that Bogi girl, Faye and Christy, right? I'm like, there's actually thousands of us and they deserve a little credit and recognition as well.
So I know she's not in the trades, but I was going to start trying to search her out. And I think she would be great for your podcast.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Killer Chick?
No.
That's her call sign. She was an A-10 pilot.
Ooh.
And her call sign became Killer Chick. She's
I love that.
I think she's a lieutenant colonel. She's Air Force, but she was an A-10 pilot, and she did something like 3,500 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So like she's got time.
Yeah.
She's got yeah.
Oh, I'd love
I don't
to
know
how,
if you just type in A-10 pilot Killer Chick, she'll come up. And
That's
I was
awesome.
going to try and track her down because I just think it would be a great story. And she would probably be a better fit for you than us, but I still want to have her on the show just because.
She can be for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. We'll share her, but she's an A-10 pilot. It's, you know what I mean?
That's
like
awesome.
she's
that's
in it.
Super cool.
Yeah, it's way cool. So yeah. I think I'll try and track her down, and if you try and track her down, I think we'll find her.
Awesome.
But I think she's retired now. I'm not 100% sure, but
that's all right. We still want to hear from her.
Yeah, I think that would be so cool.
We should grab 3 or 4 Bogi's students and have them on as a ladies' night, and even maybe have Bogi back.
There you go.
We can do that too.
That's your gang?
That's some of the gang. Like women come in kind of periodically throughout the year. So this was the group that was there on this particular day when we were given permission to completely cut apart a brand new Volvo.
Cool.
Yeah, talk about that. When you sent these over, I'm like, where did this come from? And you're chopping it up. How many miles on it? Where'd it come from? What are you doing? Who thought of the build? Somebody had to plan it out.
So we had plans to do a 1961 Volvo PV544. I know it's a weird car. I kind of like doing the oddball cars because they draw attention. And that's the purpose of these builds, right? Is to be able to be a conversation starter about women in the trades. And so, trying to think of what engine we could put in there. And I wanted to keep it Volvo, right? If we're going to do a Volvo engine. So I started looking at these like newer Volvo engines, and they have one that is a 4-cylinder that's turbocharged and supercharged. And I thought that was dope. So
really?
Yes, it's super boss. So started looking into that a little bit, and that developed into talking to Volvo, which developed into them wanting to highlight their hybrids and their all-electric vehicles. So basically, long story short, we have a 2019 Volvo S60 hybrid that we were given permission to cut apart into little pieces so that we can put the body of the PV544 on top of it.
Whoa, Brad, show some pictures, but... Now that's stepping forward. Show the car getting cut apart.
So
there's disassembly. It looks like it's brand new. Is it brand new? I mean,
it was brand new. It had like 100 miles on it. It was
awesome,
ridiculous. Yeah. So stripped it down entirely. I'm such a nerd. Basically cut out everything except for the floor. And yeah, there you go. So we left the floor, the suspension, the subframes with all of this stuff. So in the back, it's got an electric motor. And in the front, it's got that awesome 4-cylinder dual charge engine. Yeah. If you use both, it's like 420 horsepower. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah. But it took, so the length of the S60 is way longer and way wider than the PV544. So we wound up chopping the floor in half, taking 16 inches out of it, re-welding it back together. And then we're widening the PV like fenders around the wheels. So I heard you talking about wide fenders. Fat fenders. This girl, she's gonna have a big old booty. We widened both the rear fenders 5.5 inches on each side.
She got junk in the trunk.
No, she's got a lot of junk in the trunk. She's gonna be a curvy one for sure.
So Noah said killer chick is Kim Campbell. She's a colonel. It just popped up on the screen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There it is.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. See, our guys are great. You say something and you just bam, you start getting info. It's
the
so
power
awesome.
of the community. I love it.
Awesome.
I want to see, we got a couple more pictures of the body and of the wheels on the on your build. And I was curious because it fits perfect.
That's a lot to get it there.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
So what you're looking at is not only was it widened 5.5 inches, it was also in the back. We lengthened it about 3 inches, and then in the front of it, we grafted the back of a front fender onto the front of a back fender.
Right.
So kind of giving it a more symmetrical look. The original PV had like rounded on the front of the fender, and we didn't like that. So we mixed it up. So a ton of work in that. And mind you, most of the women who were working on it, had, including myself, like I've never done metal shaping like that to that degree. So we got an English wheel and learned how to use it and made the panels that we needed to do, widen this thing, all learning together kind of for the first time. Cool. So it's kind of crazy. It's a lot of fun. Like we do these crazy builds, and it's like it kind of levels the playing field, because whether you're brand new or have experience, none of us have done it. So we're really all, learning together and figuring it out and pushing ourselves beyond even our comfort zone, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you're looking at right there, we decided to put the S60 sunroof in the PV.
Oh,
cool. So that's installing the frame for the sunroof that we took out of the S60 roof and bonded it to the PV roof.
How'd you make out with the dash and the firewall?
Oh my gosh. So the firewall, we're actually using S60 firewall, which is going to allow us to use the S60 HVAC system, brake booster, all of everything pretty much. We're going to have to move the steering column mounting points over a little bit so that we can close the door. Yeah. It's way narrower of a car. And then we're basically chopping up the dash. So kind of isolating which are the pieces that we absolutely need to hold the infotainment system and the instrument cluster and the vents and that kind of stuff, but eliminating the glove box and kind of cutting all the depth out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you look at like the dash off the PV, it's like this big. And then you look at the dash off the S60 and it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
The dash is really wide.
It's
not
wide
door to door, wide front windshield. It's deep. That's it.
Yeah. It's both.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's crazy.
So what's the end goal?
End goal is to have this at SEMA at the end of the year. So first week of November this year. And then it's going to basically travel around to be a conversation starter, to be able to talk to people about women in the trades, to represent women in the trades well, and show like, if we can do something this crazy, then what can we do in your business? Why are you not willing to hire women? How can we start increasing the visibility of women in the trades, and really just to be something that women in the trades can be proud of and say, look, like we did that, right?
Yeah.
So that's the
awesome.
plan with it.
That's so awesome. That's good.
It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It really
Oh
is.
God, yes. I can imagine. It would be really good.
It's
And it's a cool
absolutely
car
exhausting,
on
but it's a
top
ton
of
of
it.
fun.
It is,
Yeah.
it is exhausting. But you know, it's funny though, when you start doing stuff like that, you see how wide cars got, because that car is
Really?
narrow, it's short, it's a
Totally.
compact car.
Yeah.
Now the cars that they're probably saying that Volvo's a compact car. You know what I mean? They're not even close size.
No, it's crazy. I mean, you think we widened the fenders 5.5 inches, right? So that is 11 inches wider that this S60 is. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah. But it's cool.
Yeah, what they changed out too, they changed where the dashboard area is, it widens in the newer cars. One of the older cars, it tilted in. You had room for your feet, but your shoulders were narrow because people were only 5'5" back.
Yeah.
1935. I mean, they were smaller people.
Yeah, it's true.
And it wasn't until they put vitamin D in the milk that guys became 6'5" and 6'6".
Right. Which, interesting you say that, because another thing we had to do was narrow the seats. So we wanted to use the Volvo seats, like the S60 seats.
Yeah.
So it'd have all like the adjustability and the lumbar support and the heated seats and like all the rest of it. So you couldn't close the doors because it was too wide.
It's too wide.
So one night at about 3 o'clock in the morning, we put on our mad scientist hats and cut the seats in half, took out 2 inches and welded them back together.
That's awesome. That's cool.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
You got to move the seat track.
Are you documenting everything?
Yeah.
We are, as much as we can. I mean, this is all self-funded. We don't have budget really to do much of anything. We do as much as we can, taking video ourselves and trying to document as much as we can. But, there's only so many hours in the day, as I'm sure you know.
So typically how long, I mean, I know you said your crew changes all the time. Typically, how long do the women stay? I mean, they do a week and go away? What do they do?
Yeah, pretty much. So no 2 days are the same. We'll have out-of-towners come for like a long weekend or a full week. A lot of the local ladies will come, like sometimes they'll come one time a month, sometimes they'll come 1 day a week. So it really changes. So in any given day, I have a completely different group of women and a completely different range of skill sets. Wow. So it's kind of like this constant figuring out what each woman is going to excel at, where her strengths are, and finding the appropriate jobs to kind of allow everybody room to grow. And it's a crazy game. But
but it's cool though. I mean, it's really cool.
It is. It's a ton
I tell you,
of fun.
it probably feels pretty good when you see somebody go off and be successful and start to take off, knowing they came through, your door, in and out your door.
Well, Faye was one of those. Faye worked on the first all-female build. And then when we were looking for another host on All Girls Garage, I recommended that she come in for an audition. So like, she's just like such a great example of that, It is, it's fun.
She told us the story, and she was all, she said you pushed, just like what you just said.
Yeah.
But she said she had a lot of doubt. You told her try out. She auditioned for it, did her thing. I mean, and it's the rest is history.
Yeah, that's cool.
But as far as, I see a lot of drive, is Bogi, as far as the pushing the women forward. Do you think it's just from the BMW and the struggle you had? What motivates you?
I think. So I had a really hard time coming up in the industry. It was pre-social media. I think when I was at the BMW dealership, MySpace was just coming out. So I'm showing my age here a little bit, but it was probably 7 years into my career before I'd ever met or knew another female mechanic existed. It's very isolating. It's very lonely. You feel like this odd duck. And then every step of the way is challenges. And so I've always kind of felt like if I can take those challenges and turn them into a positive by making the path of those who come up behind me, like even just a little bit better, then I can die a happy person. it's just, I think it was ingrained in me from a child. My parents were like total hippies, and I grew up going to protest rallies, and like literally there's a picture of me wearing corduroy bell bottoms and a peace sign t-shirt that said, "This kid is anti-nuclear." Like I legit grew up going to protests. So I think it was always like just embedded in me that like, to he who is given much, much is expected. And I've had a lot of great opportunity in my life, and I feel like it's my job to take that great opportunity to give back with it.
Right. That's cool. I mean, it's good because, you know, you meet people, you're teaching people. What more could you ask for? I mean, really
motivating people.
Yeah, you're motivating people. Yeah, I mean, that's freaking awesome.
You know, sometimes,
go ahead, John.
Sometimes all it takes is somebody, like we just talked about, Faye, being encouraged when there's doubt.
Yeah.
You know, going, you can, don't worry about it, push forward. Because that sometimes, you know, that doubt just needs to be pulled away and say, give it a shot.
Absolutely.
But what were people's reactions when you did work at the BMW dealership? You went through the training.
Yeah.
What were the reactions when they saw a female working on their car? Did you have doubt? Did you have stories where somebody was like, her, why not him?
You know, I honestly didn't get much from customers. Customers didn't seem to have a problem. In fact, one of my dealerships, they had like big windows so you could look into the service bays. And they always put me right in front of the windows so the customers could see me, which irritated me a little bit. But, you know, as the token girl, right? So, but I never had an issue with customers. I had an issue with coworkers. I had an issue with managers and hiring folks. And my first job at my first BMW dealership, I mean, the dispatcher, you know, who determined what our paycheck was, he hated me. He didn't believe that women belonged in a shop. He was a Long Island guy, so you know he was fine with telling it to my face. Yeah. And sometimes get to the point where he would be like angry, pounding his fists on the table, red in the face, like, you don't belong in our space. This is our world. So yeah, I dealt with it more from fellow techs than I did from customers.
I get the impression when somebody like that comes forward and gives you a hard time, that makes you even more motivated to push back and go, oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I am. Am I right or no?
Oh, 100%. I think that's the challenge, right? I was kind of raised with that. If somebody says no, you keep digging in and you keep figuring out a way to do it. It's like that diagnostic brain. If this way doesn't work, try this way, try this way, try this way, right? But not everybody has that. And I think that's why it's so important that we start making some changes within the industry so that more people can survive and thrive, so that we're not scared. You know, we have a trade deficit, right? We need more technicians, and yet we're scaring them off. And we're making it so hard to become a technician. It's not that we aren't attracting people. We aren't keeping people because we're not nice to our technicians. Like, we're not nice to them. Male or female.
Well, and not only that, you know, we're at a point where there's a gap, you know, I'm 58. The guys that I came in with, you know, we're starting to retire, you know, just because you're aging out or you destroyed your body. And it's not like, I talk to people. And I talk to a lot of kids, you know, at the school, and they're like, never even thought about becoming a mechanic or a tech. Never even thought about it because they were always told, go get a degree. You'll make more money. And so we've done, the country as a whole has done a huge disservice to the trades. Because, you know, they're screaming for welders, plumbers, you know, automotive guys. They're screaming for them. Yeah. And they did it to themselves.
Oh, 100%. You know, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, like the supply chain issues that we're having right now. Like, this is just the beginning, y'all. Like, when we don't have anybody to fix the trucks that bring the food from the farm to the table, when we don't have anybody to fix the airplanes and fix the, you know, equipment and fix the cars that take you to work, like, we're going to see some real supply chain issues. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too, that like, okay, so I'm going to try to not stay on my soapbox for too long.
Stand on it. Go ahead.
So, all right, we talk about not being able to attract or retain technicians. And you're right. Like, the average technician is getting ready to retire out. So here's the thing. The average automotive mechanic or technician makes $45,000 a year. Across the country, average tech, $45,000 a year. You know what the average airplane mechanic makes?
Oh, it's probably twice that.
$160,000.
Yeah. There you go.
This is according to like the Department of Labor. Average elevator repairman makes $65,000 on average. And they don't have to buy $50,000 worth of their own tools. So I feel like our system is broken for technicians. And we're not attracting them. Our society has told everybody that 4-year college is the only way to go. And then the ones that we do manage to attract, we treat like crap. We make the barriers of entry are so high.
Yeah.
And then with the woman thing, I look at it and it's like, I talk to shop owners all day long. I do shop management consulting and whatnot as well. And these shop owners will tell me, I'd love to hire a woman, but I can't find her. I can't find them. I can't find good techs. I can't find good techs. I can't find good techs. And then I talk to women all day long who say, nobody will give me a shot. Nobody will give me a job. So we got this disconnect. Like, we got to fix that.
But see, part of that is, I think, and it's not, it is more difficult for a woman. I'm not disputing that. But I think part of it is we've lost the whole thing. Like when I got into it, I went to a body shop. I realized I don't like body work. I can't, it just doesn't work for me. So I went to an automotive shop and I got in there. The first thing they did was throw you on the lube rack. You were changing oil. You prove yourself, you got brakes. You prove yourself in brakes, you got a stall next to one of the old timers who was supposed to teach you.
You start at the bottom and work your way up.
We don't do that now. That's the problem that I see.
To a degree, I think we do that. I think where the problem is that people tend to get stuck on the lube rack, where the dealerships, particularly, they don't want to move people up because it's too much of an investment. It takes too much education. It takes too much time. Right. And most independent shops, like, they don't want to hire somebody who's new and green because it takes too much training. But if you don't, how does somebody ever get experience if nobody will give them a chance to get experience, right? we gotta be willing to raise them up, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the other piece that I see and I see this at the school, is they're teaching them how to be techs. That's great. But I'll run into guys, they're sitting there, they'll look at something and it's not that they can't figure it out. They don't have that resource to go, how do I do this? Because it's not what the average tech does. Like I had a couple of the students come over to me from one of the other programs and they're like, Lou, can you help us out? We don't know how to get this lug off. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know how to get a lug off? What happened was it sheared. You know, it went up and then it came in. It sheared right where it came in.
Oh, wow.
So you couldn't access it because it was so deep in the wheel. So I walk up, I'm like, has anyone thought to drill it out? And they looked at me like I was crazy, like, drill it out. I'm like, yeah. You get a 1/4-inch drill, get as close to the center as you can. It's a 13 millimeter, right? And they're like, yeah, drill it out, gets at least 1/2 inch, and then the threads will be gone and the whole thing will come off. Yeah. No one thought of that. They don't, because they're not used to taking stuff apart. You know what I mean? That you got to have that even as a tech, because
curiosity.
When you say, you got to have that. And I don't think they're teaching them that.
Well, I think part of it is that they're not teaching them that, but part of it, I think, is because, we've set up a culture where it's not acceptable to fail, and you get laughed at when you do. And especially for women, we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Like, I know everybody's looking at me, I don't want to mess up. And so it kind of creates this thing where it's kind of not accepted to fail, and failing is actually where we learn from, right? Like, I had a woman in one of my builds ask me how I got, because I would always have to like go around and fix people's F-ups, when I'm dealing with newbies, right? So sometimes things don't work out well. They're like, how'd you get so good at fixing F-ups? I'm like, because I did them all. Like, I have F'd up so many times.
Yeah. But see, that's what you got to start working at, is the experience. You can't fix those F-ups if you don't have the experience, so what I like to do with the students I have is I show them I tell them how I want it done, and it's their car. Yeah. And if they screw it up, we make them do it over.
Right.
It's like, dude, you gotta do it over. If you want it to be right, you gotta do it over.
And that's something too to be said about like mentorship. And so for anybody like watching this, if you're in a position where you can be a mentor, this is such an important, whether it's in your shop, whether it's reaching out to the local trade schools or local high school program, like what we need in mentors is people who are willing to let us fail and make it okay, make it acceptable. Let us know that failing is part of it. And yay, here's an opportunity for you to learn. And now we get to figure out how to fix it. Right.
Right.
That's what we need from our mentors.
Right. I agree.
Well, before we get into how TV came about, I just wanted to tell the viewers, get your questions up, because in a few minutes, we're going to run through a couple of them if they're good and have Bogi answer.
If they're good, I like that. If they're good.
Yeah, if they suck,
It's
guess
an
what?
important caveat.
Yeah, it's just a little one. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, something relevant. I don't want to hear, we won't get into it, but let's get into how did All Girls Garage come about? How did you go from BMW? You had your own shop at one point, right?
Yeah. So I did not plan on being on TV. It was super random. I had quit the BMW dealership. I started my general repair shop in my driveway, built it up over the years to kind of move into a larger and then a larger and then a larger building. And I was kind of, head down, doing my thing, running a business, learning how to run a business, which meant I was mostly running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But like I said, this was kind of pre-social media. And so when the producers kind of had this idea for All Girls Garage, they wanted to be authentic. They wanted it to be real. So they were looking for female technicians. But since social media wasn't around, they couldn't just do like a hashtag female mechanic search. So they found me from a news article that I had been highlighted in and reached out. And they're like, we want you to come out and audition for this show. And I'm like, I'm not interested. And I wasn't interested because I'd been approached by other production companies who wanted to do like the reality show. Like, we want to put 7 women in a house together and they're going to start their own auto shop. And I'm like, you want cat fights and pillow fights. And I'm not doing that. Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, totally opposed. So my production company, Brenton, you know them well, Lou. They were like, no, it's not like that. This is educational based. Watch some of our other shows. This isn't drama. This isn't ridiculousness. And so they convinced me to come out and audition. And here we are 11 years later. And I don't know. Sometimes our life throws us curveballs. So there we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You skipped over that article pretty quick as far as where they found you. That was 40 under 40. That's a big deal, is it not?
That was one of the things.
That
I
is
got
a
40
big
under
deal.
40 for being a young businesswoman. I actually got 35 under 35 too, 5 years earlier.
Oh, there you go.
I was really active in my community. My shop was in kind of the arts community, and my shop had an art gallery in the lobby, and we hosted regular art openings and car care clinics and fireside chats about automotive, information for people who didn't know anything. And we were just super active in the community. And so that was honestly how all of the news attention started happening and where that started building from, because we were doing more than just car repair. We were part of the community.
Yeah. It's good that you do all those things, because I saw somewhere, now that I think of it, there was a statement you made somewhere, an interview where you talked about one of your biggest issues early on was possibly getting ripped off when you had getting your car repaired, because you thought when they looked at you and they're like, oh, let's sell her, it needs a new flux capacitor. Yeah. And you wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah.
And double the price. And you're now, when these girls go through and you're telling them about maintenance and this is how you do things and explaining how it works, they probably the same feeling. There's a relief of, somebody can't sideswipe me here.
Yeah.
And take
absolutely.
advantage.
Sometimes it's understanding better too, right? Sometimes we are being taken advantage of. That's for real. But often I think people assume that technicians are taking advantage of them, male or female, even if they're not, right? And so a lot of it is helping people understand how complicated our cars are today, how much goes into fixing them, why auto repair is expensive, that we are working on vehicles with more control modules than the first space shuttle. And that takes knowledge and education and training and experience. And so not everybody's trying to rip you off, but you can help feel more empowered by knowing just a little bit and being able to go in confidently and ask the right questions and just, to be in the driver's seat, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
That reminds me.
Try and take advantage of it. They will. There are people who will do that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of people who make a bad name for our industry, and it drives me absolutely crazy, but it is what it is. Right.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead, John. Say what you're going to say. I'm sorry. I cut you off.
Something she said reminded me of Junkyard Jimmy. Junkyard Jimmy's, we've had him on before, but when you talk to Junkyard Jimmy, if you mention a car, like his kid's girlfriend was looking to buy a car, and she says, "I'm looking at a 2010 something or other," and he said, because he works at the junkyard, was it a Nissan?
It was a Nissan.
Yeah, and he could tell you exactly what's going to go wrong with the car because he gets the phone calls all day.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
so he even told us the transmission model, you know, like it was,
and how many miles will go bad. We'll tell you what it costs to fix it. I mean, in his brand, it's like, this is what it is, because he's on the phone for 3 seconds next guy because the phone's ringing all day. He needs to make money. Yeah. But what I was getting, something that you said had me think, maybe it's a good idea to get somebody in your area like Junkyard Jimmy to explain to your girls, your team, you know, just an overview of, you know, if you're thinking of buying something as an education, maybe talk to somebody. I mean, Jimmy knows, you know, I hit him up. I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday. Yeah. He's got an 06 Avalanche 5.3 motor in it, the valve cam, everything's shot in it. But we got to talking, and I said, you know, Junkyard Jimmy says it's because of the fuel management system in that, because I got a 2010. But Jimmy, he says you got to override it. There's going to be an issue. I mean, he's just, you know, he's way out in front. And in 2 seconds, he's like this is what's going to go wrong with your car.
Right. You know, the problem is the average consumer doesn't know what any of those words mean, right? So and so they glaze over when you tell them like, oh, this thing is prone to having a fuel pump, you know, fuel control module. They're like, what?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I think more importantly is teaching people how to ask the right questions and why it's important to get a pre-purchase inspection and why you should go to a reputable place, why you should get it checked out first, because they don't necessarily know what they're looking at, and I don't expect to teach them what to look at. Like my basic car care classes, I'm not trying to make you into a mechanic. I'm trying to give you the opportunity so that when you go into a dealership or to a repair shop, that you don't feel like you've got a big target on your forehead. You know, I tell this story in my car care classes all the time. I had a woman, high-powered lawyer in New York, and she and her daughter took my car care class, and because her daughter was getting her license, mom took it just to do it with her daughter. And like 2 weeks later, she calls me up and she's like, Bogi, I got a flat tire. She's like so excited. I'm like, that's awesome. What did you do? And she's like, oh, I was wearing heels in a business suit. So I called AAA. Right. So hysterical, right? But here's the beautiful part. She said, but I watched him and he did it right. And I thought that was a really powerful statement. Like, she's not going to change her own tire. She's not that person. And that's fine. But she felt less vulnerable. She felt more in control. And it was just, it took that level of fear out of the situation. Yeah. Like, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah. You gotta, it makes it a better experience when you can have
Mike
a conversation.
Mike wants to hear, for some reason, I guess it's his thing, he wants to hear you say a cuss word.
He said he never hears you say it, but you did say a bunch of them. I don't know how many, but you said a bunch of them.
I have the dirtiest mouth. I try so hard to not be the person I am in my shop when I'm alone, like on TV, because I am the worst. Like, all day long, it's cursing, it's burping, it's that's what he said jokes. I'm like a 12-year-old. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
When Faye was on, Faye was throwing it around like she was at the bar with me and Lou and nobody was watching.
It was hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, boy.
So hysterical.
She said it was the tequila she was drinking. I was like, okay.
She blamed it on the booze. So what kind of bourbon is that?
I try to be G-rated.
What kind of bourbon is that? What brand is it?
This is actually Basil Hayden tonight.
Basil Hayden? I've never heard of that one.
It's very yummy.
I never heard of that one. I'm gonna
you gotta check it out. It's delicious. Do you like bourbon?
I love bourbon. That's the problem.
Once he starts, he can't stop. That's why he's not on here drinking.
Well, if it wasn't so good, damn it! Like
I know,
so
right?
Tasty.
See, but see, I'm an old school bourbon guy. Old Granddad, Old Crow. I mean, I'm an old school. Yeah,
Old Crow. Geez, Louise, I need to send you a bottle of some good bourbon. We gotta.
I love all that
crap.
We gotta fix that, Lou.
I love, and I like Wild Turkey. You know, out of all the sour mash, I like Wild Turkey. Oh yeah,
the cheap shit. He likes the cheap shit from the bottom
Wild
shelf.
Turkey ain't cheap. What are you talking about?
You haven't been in the store in a while.
It's very good. I mean, no offense.
But see, you know, you got to realize that's what I grew up on.
Right.
You know, when I started drinking, they didn't have all of these bourbons. They didn't
all these fancy things.
Yeah, like my son brought home a bottle of coffee rum, and it was I was really.
I don't like coffee
vodka.
though. So
I had vodka, but not rum.
No, this rum. I mean, it was. Yeah, I could get in trouble. I'd lose time. It was that smooth. I'd lose time.
Really?
Yeah.
You're drinking it straight on ice?
Straight. Just.
That's the only way to drink.
No ice. No ice. Just sipping it.
I mean,
smooth.
That's how you drink. No ice.
Yeah, smooth.
Not like
now I'm gonna
not
tell
like this one here who's drinking his rum with Coke.
Yeah. Well, I was drinking Coke to begin with dinner, so I just put
some rum in it. Yeah, I got you.
Well, see, there's
I'm drinking heavier shit.
There's a bottle. I gotta send it to you. It's Doc Porter's. It's made out of North Carolina. It's made in Charlotte.
Okay.
And I had their bourbon. The bourbon, it's good with no ice, but it's a totally different taste if you put one ice cube in it.
Yeah,
it's
ice
totally
is different. Yeah.
And
I find
so
with
much
really
smoother.
hot bourbons, like that like Bernie kind of thing, that like I'll need an ice cube or one of those big cubes to kind of cool it off a little bit. Yeah. I tend to lean more towards smoother bourbons that don't have that bite to them. I don't know the proper terminology. There's like fancy terminology.
We know what you're talking about. We know it. Look at what Mike Nunez put up.
You cuss like a sailor too in the shop. Yes.
And he said he wants to marry, and he said marry him. Look at that. You come here, you get a proposal. That's how we do.
Mike, you want to take Bogi out, send us an email. We will forward it if she likes what she sees. And no dick pics, not like that.
I mean,
no
hey,
dick pics.
You never know.
Three lefts don't at Gmail. And we will make sure she gets it.
I love it.
We'll have some fun.
Podcast. You know,
you may have to talk dirty to Mike. You may have to talk dirty to Mike.
I have been very well behaved tonight so far. I don't think I've cursed all that much.
Nah, not at all.
I've been good.
I don't think you've cursed. Well, other than the Hungarian, I don't think you've cursed at all.
Yeah.
But then I'm pretty.
That's unusual for me.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. You don't have to impress us. You already did with the Hungarian. I mean, come on. I want to learn.
I did a much more formal Q&A live thing earlier today with like really professional folks. No offense to you guys, but
hey now.
So I was wearing my professional hat.
We got a pool in a pond. The pond would be good for me and Lou. We're
that
the
came
Bill
out
Murrays.
wrong. I'm sorry.
Bill Murray, she's a Chevy Chase. Just gonna play right through, okay? Yeah, sure. Yeah, after you smack the shit out of it, it's all right. Yeah, we can take it here. I'm gonna turn the cheek. Hey.
But that's why I'm not cursing. That's the point. Like I was on good behavior today. I was on really good behavior, and now I'm still like in that mode. But I'll loosen up. I need to like finish drinking this, and then we'll be good.
Well, when you want to come back when you're having a regular day, just let us know, and we'll schedule it real quick, and we'll get you in. And John won't do an outline.
No, I won't. I won't.
Have we followed anything on the outline?
Yeah, we did. We hit a lot of stuff.
Have.
We didn't hit a couple things, but we had a bug, the lawyer. You were hitting them. I mean, it was, it is what it is. What I want to know, a couple things: daily driver, and what's around the corner for you.
Oh, geez. Physically, what's around the corner, or like in the future of my career? Is that what you're asking?
I don't know. Where's Mike? We'll bring Mike back.
Okay.
Mike's at home going, oh, yes, tell her about me. Tell her about me. Sorry, Mike. I just figured.
Mike's gonna post a picture here in a second.
Yes,
I love
me.
It's gonna come in the email. Brad's gonna put it up. Bam, there it is.
Where's
I love
Bogi
it.
at? Yes.
Daily driver. Okay, I have, the whole kind of saying, a shoemaker's children has no shoes. Like, I am 100% that person. I have 6 cars and 2 motorcycles, and only 2 of all of them run.
Yep.
And
how you do
not
it.
necessarily well. My daily is a 2011 BMW 335 with the front bumper hanging off and the paint peeling. That's my everyday.
Mike's still
It's
there.
awesome.
Mike's still here. Hi, Mike.
He's a boomerang. He goes away, comes back. We got to have Mike on.
He's back.
I'm having fun with Mike. So tell us about the other cars and the bikes.
Okay, I have a E36 BMW convertible that's dying a sad death in my side yard at the shop. I also have an E39 BMW station wagon that is also dying a very sad death. I have a Honda Hawk, 1991 Honda Hawk motorcycle, and a 2016 Triumph Street Triple. Those are also both dead currently. And I have an E46 convertible that I keep in my garage. And that one actually runs. It's just super, super low mileage, and it's like pristine.
Yeah.
And so I'm keeping it protected because I'm hoping that one day it'll be worth money. I don't know.
Worth
Who
a
knows?
shot.
And then I have a Nash Metropolitan.
That's cool.
And my first car, which was my little Volkswagen Bug, I haven't been able to get rid of that. I do still have it. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't get rid of it. I can't.
Bogi, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Time out.
Yes.
You have the Bug, and you have the place and the ability and the group of people to do the Bug.
I know.
You need to do the Bug, and then you get your photo shoot
'Cause it's
with the
based-
guy.
Will you be the guy?
Think about it.
Will you do it?
Mike.
Will you do the modeling in front of my Bug when I get it all
No, I
fixed up?
will.
In like a Speedo?
I was gonna say I'll rock the Speedo.
And strategically placed grease marks. You have to have the strategic.
No, we'll do electrical tape. Electrical tape over the nipples.
Even better.
I'm there. I'm so there. I
love it.
Not a problem.
I love it.
I'm
One of these days.
I'll even shave one leg, so that way that way the guys who the guys mind you. Exactly.
This is amazing. I'm going to remind you of this conversation, Lou. I'm going to hold you to
You don't
this.
need to remind me. You want me to write it down? I mean, it's not a problem.
I love it. One of these days, I'll get that Bug back on
It's
the
going to
road.
be Field and Stream. You're good. Sasquatch next to a VW. What's with all the hair on his back?
I'm going to have nightmares tonight. Thank you very much.
Let me tell you. He's going to be texting you pictures.
I'm nervous. Oh my god!
Then we'll email you Mike's info.
Mike said, "Oh no, you can't marry a BMW
We got
girl.
him all
He can't
worked
do
up.
it."
We got him all worked up.
It's up.
His wife's getting it tonight, though. She's getting
That's
it tonight when he gets
BS,
home from
Mike.
work. Oh
What
boy!
you got against BMWs? Come on.
he's just saying that because he's probably married, so he's got to back out. He's got to back out. You know what I mean? He's got to save face. That's what he's
Hey,
doing.
BMWs are job security for us auto mechanics, right?
Yeah, right.
God.
So what's around the corner? What are you working on? What's talk to us?
Well, like everything is all consumed by this Volvo build right now. I'm eat, sleep, drink, shit. Everything is Volvo right now. There's nothing else happening. And then after that, I don't know. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, finding new ways to do stuff to support women. I want to keep doing TV. I might have some other projects up my sleeves that I can't talk about quite yet, but I'm always up to something.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's cool. I mean,
Do you have a place picked out at SEMA for the car or no?
Yeah, it's going to be in the BASF booth. And actually, so we're going to be doing a color contest. So everybody who's watching, y'all can be part of picking what color we paint it. So we're going to mix up basically, I think we're doing 4 this year, 4 custom colors. and we're just going to go by popular vote on which color we paint it. So
Brad, put the picture back up, a full shot of the body, if you have one. That's probably as good. Are you going to take anything out of you taking anything out of the roof? You're going to leave the roof like as it is?
No, we cut a big old hole out. So we shaved the drip rail, and then we're putting the S60 sunroof in there.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
go. John likes to chop stuff, so he's thinking chop. So
yeah, I like chopping stuff too.
My head would stick out the roof. My head would stick out the roof, I think, especially the seats probably sit up pretty high too.
We lowered them down a little bit. So they did sit up pretty high, but we cut the perches off and took 2 inches out of that and lowered them down. Yes. So yeah, we've done a lot of my cutting apart and modifying and slicing and dicing on that thing. But yeah, the sunroof, dude, it sits so good. I thought it was gonna be much harder. I thought this was going to be like a multi-week process. We had it in and done in a day and a half.
Yeah, put that picture back up, Brad, because I mean that's not easy because of the shape of the roof.
It was so similar. It was shockingly similar.
Yeah, you could see where around the edge here, where you butted the thing. It looks
it's
good.
Insane. The curvature was super close, and when the sunroof is all the way open, the curvature of the glass as it slides back over the back of the roof
matches the roof.
It's tits. I mean, it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
It does look
cool.
good.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Brad, you got a shot of the door being open, or maybe that one you put up first, the side body shot?
I don't know.
If you have that one, because what I want to see is where the floor lands. The floor is a little low, is it not?
Yeah.
The
floor, so this was before this picture is before we attached the two. So it's just kind of like floating right now. You can kind of see where the floor is floating. So we did sit the body a little bit lower down onto the floor and then, created metal area. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I can't speak English.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's a better shot.
So that's the whole S60 wiring harness run through the PV so we could figure out where everything was going to go and where it was all going to live. So literally this is 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. Like,
how long did it take you to trim things down and to graft the two together to get to that point?
It was about a day and a half to strip it down entirely. And then probably another day and a half to kind of shave and shimmy and squeeze and chop and whatnot to make it all fit. It was funny. One of the ladies was like, "Should we look at the repair instructions for this?" I'm like, there are no repair instructions for this. Like, we are chopping apart a brand new vehicle.
Yeah.
And so of course, like, now we know the S60, I'm pretty sure, like, better than any Volvo technician. The problem is if you ask us like how to change the throttle body, we're going to be like, well, first you have to cut the roof off.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
So the donor core, the Volvo is a 2020. What year is the
It's a 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
That's still pretty cool. Do you think, I mean, if you were to leave everything intact, the wiring harness as it is, do you think as it sits there, it would start?
It should. Yeah. We're basically going to be programming some of the stuff out of it, but for the most part, everything with the exception of some of the airbags, because obviously I can't do like curtain airbags in a car that's completely differently sized. So we've disabled those, but all of the seatbelts are going to be plugged in. The window regulators are going to be plugged in, sunroof, cassette, infotainment system. We're even going to put the rear camera in. So pretty much everything is going to be in the car. Some of it may not be functional, but it's all going to be there. So in theory, in theory, once we have everything plugged in, this thing should start up.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, what do you have? You have 7 months to get it out the door. What color was the interior? Black?
It was black. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going the back with black? Or you going to,
I think so. I want to step up the quality of the material. No offense to Volvo's quality. I want to do what's it called? The not anthracite. Alcantara. I want to do Alcantara. It's that fabric that feels a little suede-y, but it's not suede.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the name of it. Yeah.
Alcantara. So I want to do that as headliner and as inserts in the seats. But since we're using the same seats, it's just going to be taking the original seat cover and making a new model.
Yeah. Take 2 inches out.
You know what I'm trying to say, with 2 inches missing down the side.
A new cover with 2 inches missing. Yeah. I got you.
Template. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. I got it.
That shouldn't be too bad. Put it back together.
And I mean,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
good.
Just
You
put
want
it
the
back
interior.
together.
You want the interior to basically look like it came out of the 19 Volvo. Just
yeah, exactly. So it's from the outside, it's going to be this car that nobody really knows what it is, because who knows the 1961 Volvo PV544 anyway. And then we've modified the hell out of it so it doesn't look like one to begin with. But then you look in the car and it's brand new car.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's a great project. Out of all the project, that's pretty cool. Because I think she go down the road like nobody's business too.
Right? 420 horsepower.
Yeah, it should ride nice at 80, 90 miles an hour and be able to make it from A to B, pump gas.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Without worrying about it.
Brad changed the screen because he's telling us it's time to go.
What?
So, yeah.
We're just getting started. I haven't even finished my bourbon yet.
No.
Well, that's not my fault that you're being a lightweight and can't drink your booze. It's not my fault.
Whatever. I'm drinking bourbon neat. Come on, how much of a lightweight am I?
I don't know what you're talking about, but when I drink bourbon neat, it's straight out of the bottle.
This was one of the really big bottles. It'd be hard to. That's also what she said.
I
sorry.
I caught it. I was gonna let it go though.
See, 12-year-old boy.
There you go. I'm with you. I got it. All right, so Bogi, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna say goodnight, and then Brad's gonna make you disappear, and then we're gonna say goodnight, and then we're all gonna disappear. Okay? Well, me and John will disappear after you disappear.
Okay.
All right. So say goodbye. Wait, before you say goodbye, though, tell everybody where they can. Your handles for for Instagram, all that stuff. Tell everyone where you're.
Absolutely. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of the above is at Bogi's Garage. It's BOGI. Don't add an E in there like people like to do. You can also check out my shop, Girl Gang Garage. Say hello, and I'm going to say goodbye. Good night.
Steve,
Thank
Bogi,
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
John, I think that was a good show.
Yeah.
And on Women's Day. I mean, come on. What more could we ask for? Perfect timing.
That was good. It was perfect.
Perfect timing, and we didn't even try it. That's how we roll.
Yeah. Well, as usual, the money's on the dresser.
Yep.
And we're done.
There you go.
Next week? Tomorrow. Oh,
tomorrow. John Hotchkiss.
There you go.
Tomorrow. We got to do tomorrow.
Next week is Rick Dorr.
Yes.
Following week is Ralph from Chrysler.
Yes. And you guys remember it's 3leftsdon't@gmail.com. If you have anybody that you want us to track down to possibly be a guest, please send them in. I'm trying to reach out to trying to see what Fitzy's Fabrication says. He said he doesn't know. He's not 100% sure, but he did contact me. So we'll keep leaning on him. I'll keep leaning on him, and we'll be good to go. So John, I know the money's on the dresser, so I will see you later. All right.
Sounds good. Good luck. I'll talk to you later.
All right, everybody. Don't forget, tomorrow night, regular time, we have John Hotchkiss of Hotchkiss, suspension. That's what he does. He's in North Carolina now. So we're going to talk to John. Be here tomorrow.